Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. When Raila Odinga joined William Ruto immediately after the Gen Z's protest, several questions were asked, and one of them was, what was the fate of Azimio supporters who were killed immediately after the 2022 elections when Raila led many of his supporters to the streets demanding for electoral justice and the cost of living. Many of them were killed, and I've always given an example of his people who are being retrieved from their houses in Kisumu and they are being tortured and killed. By joining William Ruto, what was going to be their fate? Number two, what was going to be the fate of the youths who are killed when they went to the street just saying, we don't want the Finance Bill 2024. We want good governance. We want to be heard. What was going to be their fate? Many were abducted, tortured, maimed, and killed. And Raila's declaration ended that protest. Was there going to be justice? What was going to be the fate of Cherera 4? Those gallant men and women who stood up for the truth. And of course, Cherera and Irene Masit are seeking asylum in a foreign land, away from their families. What was going to be their fate? Because even during the protest, Raila had said that they wanted a justice for Cherera 4. They were hounded out of office for nothing. And finally, we were asking, what was going to be the fate of many Kenyans who are suffering under the oppressive hands of this regime? Those questions were never answered. Now, about 1 year down the line after that very secret handshake, Raila Odinga, after the AUC loss in Addis Ababa, came back with a series of demands. And he's now going around the country seeking people's opinions, whether to support William Ruto, whether to contest in 2027, whether to ditch William Ruto, or maybe to join Rigathi Gachagua, who is telling him, we need you, but even if you don't come, we are ready to face Kasongo. Now, many dismissed when I was asking the question, what would be the fate of these people? Because some of them suffered directly as a result of their engagement and association with Raila Odinga. Because people went to the street, went there because Raila called for the protest. So today, Raila made several demands, and I had told you that Raila will still continue to support William Ruto, but with a lot of demands. Now, Raila has said several things, especially today when he met his supporters in Mombasa. But there is a demand that caught my attention. Raila is now condemning the abductions of Kenyans. Of course, this is not the first time he's saying it. I remember he had confronted William Ruto in Homa Bay. But not only that, he's saying that we must end the abductions, but the people who died during Azimio protest must be compensated. Youths who died during the Gen Z protest must be compensated. Listen to Raila Odinga.
Mengine ni mambo ya utawala kwa jumla. Watu kutekwa nyara, vijana wanashikwa hovyo, wanapelekwa vizuizini mahali ambayo julikani, wanateswa huko, wengine wanauawa. Hayo ni maneno ambayo hatutaki kuona katika taifa letu. Mpaka yale yakome kabisa. Hatutaki kuona kama yale yanafanyika katika taifa letu. Tumesema wale vijana ambayo walipata majeraha na wazazi wa wale ambayo waliuawa ile mwaka wa 2023 wakati wa ile maandamano ya Azimio na ya mwaka jana ya Gen Z, nataka wapewe ridhaa au jamii yao wapewe ridhaa. Hiyo vile ni sharti ambayo sisi tunaweka, tukubaliane. Lakini vile muhimu zaidi ni ya kwamba yale maneno yakome. yasikiwa inaendelea katika taifa letu. Sawa.
You know, Raila's involvement and engagement with William Ruto earned him very many unpalatable names. Some were calling him conman because some felt that he's never genuine. Others felt he's a traitor because they thought Kenyans had cornered Ruto.
Sasa hakuna kitu unatetea wewe. Sasa nakwambia hakuna kitu unasema. Hakuna mtu umetetea. Wakati watu wanauliwa hapa pale, wewe ulikuwa unaenda hapo kufanya nini? Fanye kazi sawa sawa. Hakuna. Wewe wakati umeanguka kura ndio unaanza kuona Wakenya. Unaanza kuona Wakenya sasa ndio wazuri. Sasa tumesema siku ya leo tunaelekea. Tunakujua sana. Acha tena tunarudi kuanalyze mambo yako.
The question that we are asking, ladies and gentlemen, why now? It's now almost 2 years down the line when Azimio protest victims really suffered under the cruel hands of William Samoei Ruto. Raila has been very quiet. Some of us had been thinking when they get together, he can now access William Ruto directly. And I know sometimes justice can never be dispensed because those people were killed. They were killed directly as a result of orders from the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, who was William Samoei Ruto. So maybe it will be very difficult to find justice, but there will be a token. Life can never be compensated, but there could be a token for those who lost their lives. Their parents can be given something. And we have been asking this. We've been asking, why can't Raila talk to William Ruto so that Cherera and Arin Masit can be forgiven? They come back because for fear of losing their dear lives. But this did not happen. I remember when in 2002, I think, when Raila Amolo Odinga, that was either 2001 to 2002, when Raila joined KANU, there are people who I know who had been victims of 1982 coup. Their names were being alleged to have been part of that coup, and they had been away from the country. Some of them, as a result of that handshake, came back to the country because Moi had forgiven them. I think their names had been removed from the Zita blacklist where the government, writes your name and seals it that you are wanted. They came back. So I thought by Raila joining William Ruto, they would forgive those who had run for their lives. But why exactly now? Why is Raila speaking now when we think it's almost too late? I thought this was the first thing he was to start with. Of course, Salesa is saying that now that you have failed the AUC bid, you are now demanding that we get justice. What if he had not failed? What if he had succeeded in Addis Ababa? And I've got only 4 reasons why I believe Raila is making demands. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. You are the reason why we are here. When you do, don't forget to hit that notification bell because that will allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. Please don't forget to like and share our videos. Thank you very much for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, Raila is coming now because he realizes he has been named a traitor. He knows very well people are saying he betrayed Gen Zs. Gen Zs are saying we had cornered William Ruto. We wanted to remove him from office. But Raila tells them that some people had infiltrated the Gen Z's protests. They wanted to topple Ruto's government so that maybe Gachagua takes over. I don't know. Gen Z's will not hear that. Gen Z's know that they have cornered William Ruto. That is what they know. So Raila wants to endear himself back to the people, to endear himself back to Gen Z's, to tell them, I'm back. Nawatetea. I'm speaking for you because that is what people have known Raila for. So he's going back to them. I don't know whether this is speaking to them directly or through the back door, but he wants to endear himself. He wants to endear himself to the supporters who had left him. There are people who left Raila after the Azimio protest and people were killed and he never did anything. Instead, after taking people round and round and people were killed, he joined William Ruto without demanding for their justice, for any compensation. He went and picked his people, gave some dockets. That is what angered many people. Sometimes I say Raila has every right to join the government. But when you do, please showcase a very humane attitude. Talk about the people who were killed. Pick some young people to go if you want to take people to the rockets. Instead, He recycled those who had been there, those who had been ministers and all that. So there are people who left him. So he's endearing himself back to them. Maybe if they are ODM or Azimio supporters, he's calling them, he's sending an olive branch that I'm still the Raila you knew. I'm now talking on your behalf. As to whether this will work or not, I don't know. But I believe he is getting back to them. These are a very accorded message that, I'm back. That's why he said Baba is back. Number two, Raila has started the very usual noise to scare William Ruto, because we know that he's still supporting William Ruto. But at the back of his mind, I have a feeling that Raila wants a kind of nusumkate. They may want more principal secretaries. They may even demand more ambassadors. Raila might even want that there is a reshuffle in the cabinet. Already they have shared the parliamentary committees. They have chased away those who are allied to Amunyoro. And I've always said that the more the noise, the more the demands, strict demands, the higher the stakes. This could be just a very usual noise to ensure that stakes are high, so that, because William Ruto has lost the support of the mountain, is clinging on Raila's support machine, the way Gachagua puts it, that William Ruto is in ICU and is depending fully on Raila. Raila knowing this very well, he's a politician, a seasoned politician. He was with Moi in a handshake, he was with Kibaki, he was with Uhuru, he's been there. So it could be a very choreographed plan, very deliberate and intentional, to ensure that his stakes are high, so that by the time they go back for another meeting with William Ruto will succumb to every demand. He can wake up and say, I want Wetangula's seat if you want me to support you, because ODM says they have stabilized the government. He must say, nataka hiyo kiti cha Wetangula, hicho kiti cha Koome, I want it. Whatever Raila wants, I can assure you can get it now. So I have a feeling that it's meant for more goodies to him. Number two, Raila, you can't rule the possibility that Raila is preparing grounds to abandon William Samoei Ruto. Raila, being a politician, can just decide that he is trying to look at the wave, the way things are moving. When he realizes that he's going to lose more people, because Raila's career is politics. That is what he will do until he dies. And he has survived all the years because of the people that support him. If he realizes that he's going to lose his people, he can decide to ditch William Samoei Ruto, even if it is not now, because all these consultative forums will take some time. He can tell William Ruto, my people have refused and therefore I'm gone. So he could be preparing grounds to abandon William Ruto. He can make several tough demands that William Ruto will find very difficult to implement. Now, in the event that William Ruto decides that I'm not going to implement, that will give him a loophole to walk away. So you cannot rule out that possibility that is preparing grounds to leave. Number two, or rather the last one, it could be just a passing cloud. Raila wants people to cool down. Raila just wants to pass time. Raila just wants people to talk about this, because if there is something that politicians know, especially in our country, whenever something comes up very sensational, we also become very sensational about it. We'll talk about it. It will grab headlines. It will be spoken kwa bunge la wananchi. It will be the wave of discussion. Street politics, that will be the order of the day. And Raila knows very well that the more time goes, time is a healer of everything. Something will happen bigger than what is now happening. And people will start talking about it. They shall have forgotten about all this noise. So it could be a way of just passing time, ladies and gentlemen. But I was shocked that now Raila realizes that he has got people who died after the post-election violence. Raila realizes that there are Gen Zs who are killed, and he realizes that people are being abducted. They say better late than never. A day in politics counts. You cannot rule out and underestimate Raila's capability. Let's wait as things transpire, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you think. But we've always demanded that Raila talks about these things. Now, finally, that he has spoken, is he just testing waters? Is he testing waters or is he serious about this? Kindly share with me in the comment section.